Go.
Okay, be another quick one today because I've started late in the day. I've been doing other little tasks. But those are the 4 little clips that we ordered from Yamaha. Colleagues down the road from us turned out to be the cheapest place to get them. $14 for the 4 of them. Only took a few days for them to get them in. So I'll do that. Brand new clip. Just slide it over. Get the pipe. Push the pipe on. Nice and snug, and then you can just slide the clip on. That's all it is. No special tools required or anything else like that. So that's brand new clips on. And yeah, the grip a little bit better than the old ones, but not a huge deal. Anyway, that's that. Cool. Also, we did get from Canada the 4 little idle air jets. These little fuckers here that go just there in the front of the carb. So there's four of those. So I've taken these out, already cleaned them, as you saw in an earlier video, but they're not in perfect condition. So I'm going to replace them with new ones, take the old ones out, put them into the respective bags, fit the carbs, fit the cables. You'll also remember that the throttle stop screws, these, I'd wound them all the way in so that I could then set the synchronization between the lower and the upper through this screw. And I did say that if I was to fit these and try and start the bike, that the tick over would be way too high. So what I've done, I've made a little black mark at the top of each of the respective throttle stop screws, wound it all the way back until there's no contact between the screw and the actuator, and then just brought it into a little bit of contact. You can see a little tiny bit of daylight. Basically, they're in the same position, so it'll not be revving its nuts off when we start. Okay, so far, after fitting the carburetors, doing up the clamps, I've run the cable that opens the carb and found that this bracket here, I don't know if you can see it very well, right, but that was tilted down and inwards. Basically, it was bent, so I've re-straightened it because the tip of this, you can see it's wound all the way down. It didn't give me enough movement on the throttle to have it closed fully. See where the throttle stop screw is there at the minute? There's a huge gap. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Same on this side. Now this is the old throttle tube, and the new throttle tube. Pop over and have a little look at this.
Okay, I can see the holes from this side.
Okay, so there's a twin set of cables. This cable is responsible for pulling the throttles shut, and this is the one that's responsible for pulling them open. And I don't know, can you see this little half moon of plastic here? See how it stops at that point?
Yeah.
Okay. And now I'll show you this one. See how these two are the same?
Yeah.
As in quite short like this?
Yeah, and that one goes.
You see this one goes
all the way around.
Yeah, got all this excess here.
Yeah.
So I think I have to break that off or cut it off or something, because it's kind of like I've got my throttle 3/4 of the way open.
Yeah.
So cheap parts. All right, but I think I can work around that.
You mean you want to go fast all the time?
I want to go fast all the time, yes. Either that, or what I might do is take this grip off.
Put it on the old one.
Put it onto the old throttle tube, because I know the old throttle tube works. All right, see you in a bit. Okay, this is just as much for future Dave as it is for anybody else that's watching this. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there know far better than me what the actual routing of these cables are. However, I'm just summarising for myself. There's 2 cables come out of the throttle. You've got the one with the hard case that comes down, and that ends up with. Oh, you can look over this side if you like, babes. Right, there's a pair of these things, right? These big black plastic jobbers. On this one, there's 3 cables. On this one, there's only 2. Okay, the one with 2, I'll just follow the cable back for a second. That's this one at the rear.
Oh, sorry.
You can see where the screwdriver is?
Yeah.
Okay, so as you roll the throttle off, okay, that's pulling these 2 cables here, right? These 2 are getting pulled. Come around to this side if you can look over the top. You can see
So much crap in this.
so much crap in it. Okay, you see this? Okay, so this cable getting pulled as you roll off the throttle rotates this clockwise and shuts the throttles, or shuts the carburetors. So the other one goes over here.
Whoops.
Oh, sorry. Over here to this one. Similarly, pulls that clockwise, closing the throttles.
Yep.
Meanwhile, this one, the front one operates the way that you'd imagine. As you roll the throttle towards yourself, you're opening the throttles, you're pulling on the cable here. That comes down to here, this junction where you've got it splits into 3. All right. The short one very obviously goes to to this side, to here. Look.
Oops.
That goes to there. You see that there?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. And that's going to pull. It's going to pull the. In fact, just rotate the throttle. I'll hold that for you, babe. Right. So you pull. There you go. So that's pulling the carburetors open. Yeah. Okay. So back to this junction where it splits into 3. You've got a short one goes to the left-hand carb. A longer one goes to this side. Then, and this is the interesting bit. This is the bit that I was spending the last few minutes on.
Minutes?
All right, what, hour? Okay. This cable, this is the 3rd one that comes out of junction. And it's got this interesting metal looking bracket that fits in there.
Yeah.
And then there is a short sleeve, if you see that. Okay. Now that eventually is going to sit in
There.
in here. Yeah. Let me just pop it in for a sec. There you go. Right. And so you can imagine this is your oil pump, your 2-stroke oil. So as you're opening the throttle, what would happen? Yeah, you go on in, you pull it. There you go. Right. So that would pull that to its maximum position. Right, but it's flopping about at the moment because then it needs to go. I'm just going to disconnect it so I've got plenty of slack. I'm threading it under this bar. I just had all this connected to the servo motor which controls the power valve positions. I had it over the top of this, and what I found was when I was operating the throttle, the cable was kind of rubbing like this across the frame, and I thought, well, that doesn't look very natural. So I'm going under this time, and I thought it'd be a good opportunity just to show everybody, those that are really fascinated about these cables. So I've unbolted this, the servo motor, and you can just, you go underneath. It's like teaching your kids how to tie shoes, right? You go underneath. You see what I'm doing?
I'm coming from the top so I can see.
Okay. Now on the servo, there's this reel. There's 2 cables attached, which have got large ends, whereas this is a small end. Can you see what I'm pointing to?
Yeah.
All right, so the small end's going to go underneath the 2 cables and into, excuse me, a little fiddly. Might even disconnect it from there. Give myself a little bit more cable. Here we go. In, come on.
Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll trim that down again. There we go. Oh, right, got it in. Perfect. Okay. So now I've got it in. I can pull that back. Slot that over there. Okay. Now, obviously, it's quite baggy at the minute, so I need to go over to this side. Pop that end in there first. Are you looking where I'm looking?
Well,
You know,
I'm
yeah.
watching that get tight.
She says, okay. Then that one. Almost. Come on, you bugger. There it is. Right, so that's in there, yeah? Okay. Now, this thing swivels around. It's got a wide opening and a tight opening. So I'm going to move it so the wide opening lines up with the cable. Like there. Right, okay. I'll bolt this down a second. Right, so you want to come over and have a look at the servo? So this bracket fits onto here like that. All right, and I'll just put the bolt in, and hopefully with this cable running underneath, it's not going to be rubbing and chafing on anything, because I really didn't think that was the right way to go. Now there's a lot of fine tuning on all these cables to do yet, but I just want to get the things fitted in what I think is basically the right configuration. Okay, so this before was rubbing up and down on there. You can see how it wants to move, but it's still chafing a bit. Yeah. Maybe I'll secure this cable tie it to something, so it's just doing that. Okay, so at the moment my wrist is operating the oil pump as well as the carburetors, but at various points in time this servo motor can also then contract on this cable by rotating that pulley, and that'll add oil when it needs to as well. So there's a lot of things to adjust, fine tuning, and then what we've got left is the 4 cables which go for our choke plungers. That'll do that for today. I'm really happy with that.
Cool.
All right.
Hot. Let's go.
It is. All right. But what's been just a couple of minutes for you guys, probably not very interesting at all. I can understand it. Apologies for that. But how long have we been out here? About 2 hours, all told.
Bit longer.
Bit longer?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. So at the minute, because I'm working a lot of hours at work at site, I'm just doing a few hours per weekend. All right. But we'll get there.